Hello everyone, Nubkeks here, and we're in the middle of a heat wave in Ireland right now, but that's not stopping us, because in today's video, I'm going to cover the top 11 things I wish that I knew starting off here as a beginner in Final Fantasy XIV. I've been playing for, oh my goodness, hello. I've been playing for a good few days now, a couple of weeks at least. I've actually lost track, I've been so hooked in the game, but I've reached just past level 50. Which is, I'm going right into the end of the A Realm Reborn storylines, which is the sort of the base game, right? And I'm about to step into the first major expansion. So yeah, I've got quite a few things here. I hope that they will be helpful to you. So let's dive in and let's take a look. I'm professional. I have the stuff on my phone, which is very funny. The first thing is the free trial, guys. So tip number 1 is the free trial. You can play at least 100 hours worth of content in this game in just the free trial alone. I actually did buy the full subscription because it does let you use the market boards and the summoning bell to do retainers, so essentially trading with other players. That stuff is locked away behind buying the game, you know, just to stop people making bot accounts and exploiting the economy and stuff like that. But you can play through the entire base game of A Realm Reborn. Like I said, I've again, hundreds of hours, like crazy amounts of gameplay here to get through all of that. And the first expansion, Heaven's Ward, as well. They are all included in the free trial. So yeah, people often ask me, hey, is it worth giving Final Fantasy a try? And yeah, it is. It absolutely is. It's literally free. All you gotta do is download the game. Might take a while depending on your connection, but that's it. Download the game, the base game, the first expansion. They're free to play, so why the heck not? Go give it a go. Tip number 2 then is when you actually do get into play, what you want to focus on for leveling your character. They actually changed the leveling through A Realm Reborn a little bit very recently, within the last year or so. So I can actually give you some info now, having done it myself. You want to focus on the main quest. I'm going to avoid showing you anything with major spoilers. This is a main quest, but there's no major spoilers here. This is very, very quite chill, but it's this icon is what you're looking for, this meteor icon. This is your main quest, and that's going to carry you through stuff. And then you can see the other things here are these blue icons. In fact, we got one right here. So you see this as well. This is the other sort of quest you want to do apart from just the main quest. These are unlock quests. So for example, this one here, I think might be a dungeon or another class. To give you an example, over here, for example, so you want to be an Arcanist. This is a blue quest. This would unlock the Arcanist class for me to play. So it's usually worth doing most of these blue quests. They'll typically unlock things you can do for crafting. They might unlock side games, you know, mini activities, and oftentimes they will unlock optional dungeons and stuff like that. It's worth doing these. But what I can tell you is you will actually get enough experience doing just the main quest to get through the entire main quest of A Realm Reborn, with one caveat, and that caveat is if you use the food buffs. Food buff then is tip number 3. So you can get any food. In fact, there is a vendor. I'm going to run over to him. If you're on the free trial, I think he's in here, maybe in the next area. But there is a vendor who sells food here in Limsa Lominsa, which is one of the capital cities. You'll get to this pretty early on in the game. You also get a bunch of food through some of the early quests. Yeah, this guy, Garulf the Independent Culinarian. He'll actually sell you food, and you can just buy some food really cheap from him, stock it up, and always have a supply of food. If you are a culinarian, which I do have over here, I'll show you how this all works as well. But I can actually cook food as a culinarian, right? I can actually cook a bunch of foods, which are going to give buffs. The key thing is that every single sort of food in the game, every single sort of food is going to give you an XP bonus. You can see down here, XP bonus 3%, duration 30 minutes. You can double stack, you can eat 2 things of foods. You can see, for example, right now I have 40 minutes of food buff. That gives you 3% XP. I was actually pretty bad at this while leveling up. I kept forgetting this. But if you run this food buff and you just do the main series quest, the main scenario quest, you will get enough XP to get to level 50, do all of A Realm Reborn, and you'll get through all of Heaven's Ward, I'm pretty sure as well. No problem, just doing that. You don't need to touch any of these pure side quests. They're completely 100% optional. The only place that I ever ran into any XP difficulties was actually at level 47. I was actually at level 49 on the main quest at that point, so I had to go and grind out a couple of levels. Didn't take long. It was really quick, right? But that was the only thing. Again, if I'd been running the food buff, I pretty much would have made it there. And you can just do some optional dungeons along the way, and you'll get plenty of XP. You don't need to do any side quests. You don't need to grind anything in particular. Just have your food buff on, do the main quest, check out optional dungeons if they sound cool, and you're good. You'll make it. Tip number 4 then. I did these slightly out of order. We can teleport around. I'm going to go to the gold saucer. This is something that you unlock early on in the game, so this may or may not be something you're interested in. But this is basically, it's kind of like a casino or a carnival, a fun fair. There's a whole bunch of mini games here. This is like mini game central. But the interesting thing about this is you are going to be earning these currencies called Manderville Gold Saucer Points, MGP. And one of the best sources of MGP is actually stuff you can get early on. So it's kind of a crazy map. It's kind of intimidating, but I think it's over. Is it over here? Yeah, it's over this cacti board. So if I come over here, oh, there's actually a cool mini game event going on right now. I can actually take a shortcut. If I run over, oh my goodness. Okay, hello. Boing, we're up. But there's a bunch of mini games that you can start doing in here that will unlock stuff early, and you can start earning these things. So there's a fashion show, which I think is in the main square. There's a fashion show. Yeah, over here, there's a fashion show every week, which is a great source of MGP. You can do this gambling, this jumbo cactpot, which is once a week. You can do this cactpot, jumbo cactpot. So go do this, and basically this always gives you these prizes. Great prizes, great. I didn't get anything with that. Claim more prizes, cool. I'm gonna grab these. Consolation prize, but this is just free MGP. This is a weekly lockout. So there we go. I didn't get anything. You can do it 3 times per week. That's fine. Let's actually do it here. Yeah, you'll have a bunch of quests when you first come here, which will show you what happens. But I can just purchase this. It's super cheap. So we can go like 420. Yeah, perfect. There we go. I think that's a winner, probably. Perfect. I'm locking in for this week. We're going to get 69.69. Likely to be good. And then we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4. Fantastic. Winning numbers, if ever there were any. So cool. It's every Saturday. We're going to be able to see if we won any prizes. It cost me $150 per ticket. The consolation prize is $1,200 per ticket. So it's just free MGP. And again, the fashion show is another great source. If you're into card games, we have Triple Triad is over here, the card game. And you can actually, by unlocking Triple Triad, you can actually start, earning different cards. You can start earning these cards. They drop from some dungeons and stuff like that. You can also find people in the world to play in Triple Triad. You can start collecting these cards. It's kind of like Gwent in The Witcher 3. So yeah, if you're interested in collecting cards, then come here, unlock that, and yeah, you can start finding cards. It's great fun. Hopping back to Limsa then, the next thing I want to show you are these Aetheryte shards. There are also these Chocobo porters, these guys. Chocobo keeps, Chocobo porters that are kind of like flight paths if you've played World of Warcraft. You don't really need those. You can basically just teleport around everywhere using these Aetheryte teleports. So whenever you get to a new zone, make sure you attune to the Aetheryte shard so you can teleport back there. And with your teleport button, you can see all of these. You can teleport where you want. Another great tip is, again, set your return to whatever your starting city is. You can do that by clicking on the teleport, and you can set your home point. You can set a favorite destination. I think you can also get free destinations by doing authenticator stuff as well. I'd recommend setting your favorite destinations to the major cities that you're using. Basically, you'll be going through all 3 of the major starting cities all the time. You're constantly going to be going to those different areas through A Realm Reborn, so you'll just save yourself some gil by having those be your favorite teleports. You can see like Limsa, Laminsa, New Gridania, and Ul'dah. So I'd recommend setting those. And yeah, that's another nice tip. While you're also exploring these cities, whenever you do get to one of these cities, they're intimidating. Like, look at this map. It's kind of crazy. And there's an upper decks as well. What the heck's going on? Oh my lord. It's insane. Well, you also have these. Let me see where the nearest one is. I think the nearest one is over here. You're going to have these mini Aetheryte shards in a city. So when you first get to a city, just enjoy it, guys. Have a look around, explore. I mean, look at this place. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. Like, we've got these big castles over the waterfront. Like, the sun is setting over there. It's incredible. We've got like these piers and stuff. Like, wow, these ships. Badass. This is my favorite city. Absolutely love Limsa. I do. But go around to all these Ethernet shards. Find every single one in the city. Like there's one here. There's one over here. One down here. Just run around to these. Explore the city. Get a feel for the city. Because these Ethernet shards, you can teleport around all the different places in the city. And when you unlock every single one of these Ethernet shards, you'll also get a teleport to the zones just outside of the city and a teleport to the airship landing as well. So it's well worth it. It will save you a ton of time. So make sure when you go to these cities to go and grab those little Ethernet shards as well. For tip number 6, we have switching jobs and character creation. So you might be a little bit, worried like, ooh, I'm picking my starting class. What class do I pick? Just pick one that's cool. It's super easy to swap. As soon as you hit level 10, you can actually go to any of the class trainers in the starting cities and you can actually switch your job. So for example, if I wanted to be an Arcanist, you want to be an Arcanist, go to the Arcanist guy. It's all good. If you want to be a rogue, which is actually not a starting class, I think you have to be level 10 to become a rogue. If you want to be a rogue, come down here right beside the fishing docks in Limsa Lominsa. You want to be a rogue, complete this quest and you'll unlock rogue. In this game, you can have every single job on your character, right? So these are all the combat jobs. You can unlock every single one. You can play them all on your same character. You can see right here, I started off the game as a monk. I started as a monk, and then at level 50, I actually switched to samurai, and now I'm actually playing samurai instead. If I remove my webcam here, you'll actually see I've got a hotbar set up with all of my different jobs on it that I currently have access to. So I can, at a click of a button, just completely swap over and change the gear. This is actually my next tip. This is tip number 6, which is your gear sets. Again, you won't have this access to this at level 1 when you first start, but it'll be this button up here, gear set list. I can click to create a new gear set, and I can have one set up for every single job. Okay, so for example, I've got one set up here for samurai, and then another tip, recommended gear. Click this, it's going to equip my best gear, and then this button here, update gear set, will update it. So for example, if I equip all my best gear, click update my gear set, and there you go. My samurai set has been updated, it's been registered, and we're good to go. And again, I can click this, drag it onto my hotbar, and I can switch to samurai whenever I want. Now, of course, that's already equipped, so I don't need it, but you get the idea, right? So that's a really quick way. I set up an entire hotbar here, which is just, I've got cooking, I've got carpentry, leatherworking, monk, samurai. I've got all my stuff here on that set of bars that I can switch through whenever I want to. It's as easy as that. A click of a button to change your gear, pick your best recommended gear. That simple, that easy, and bam, you're away. You're doing good. So yeah, I'd recommend sticking with just one combat class for the most part up to level 50. Otherwise, you're going to get really sidetracked. Get up to level 50. You get a big XP bonus to your other classes when they are lower level than your main class. So getting up to 50 is a nice way of doing it. And again, same thing with crafting, by the way. You can pick any of the crafting jobs. You can get into them. Absolutely no problem. Where am I going next? What's my next tip? What is my next tip? Aha, yes, there we go. This is actually tying into switching jobs. Look at my hotbars here. Look at my hotbars. This will look slightly different just in terms of layout. That's a bit more advanced. You don't need to worry about that starting off. Why is there a naked man running around? Who knows? But what I want you to see is look at these numbers. These ones are solid numbers, but look at number 4 kind of behind me and number 5 over here. These have these kind of blocks behind them. These are called shared hotbars. So look what happens when I change to monk. When I change to monk, my main 3 hotbars here change, but this bar over here and this bar here stay the same. This is incredibly useful. And again, if I switch to carpenter, great, this stays the same. Switch to armor smith, this stays the same. I really, really, really recommend this. So what you want to do with this is you want to go into your character config, hotbar settings, okay, and you can customize all your hotbars. Go into the sharing tab, and then I recommend cross hotbar is for controller if you're playing the controller, which I'm not. But I set 1, 2, and 3 are not shared. So these 3 hotbars down here, these will be my core rotation for all my crafting specs, my combat specs. So these are custom set for every single class and spec in the game, every job in the game. But 4, 5, and the rest of them are all shared. I actually only use 4 and 5 right now, but I just have my teleport, my idling camera, my return my group pose for taking screenshots, some cool emotes like beckon, sitting down, petting stuff, blushing, crucial, absolute crucial emote, my little pet here that I can summon in, my kitten. These are all set on these shared hotbars, and they'll just transfer between every single job, which is super handy. So I really recommend that. So far, again, you can see Samurai. These are how many of my buttons are actually part of my core rotation so far at level 51 on Samurai. So I could probably get away plenty fine with just 2 hotbars, but I've set up 3 because I know I've got new abilities coming up. So I think 3 hotbars, planning around having those 3, is going to be enough, likely for most of you, certainly all the way through Heaven's Ward, all the way through the free trial, and then at least 2 shared hotbars, and put them wherever you want, set them up to look however you want. But yeah, it's going to be really, really handy. Now that you know how to switch between all these different jobs, set up your gear sets, set up some shared hotbars to save yourself some hassle, I really recommend that you check out some of the crafting stuff in this game, right? Don't just worry about the fighting jobs, but do go and try out some gathering jobs and some crafting. You'll actually see, funny enough, my highest combat class is Samurai at level 51. I'm level 71 in fishing out of a possible 80 levels. Needless to say, it's super, super fun. And again, fishing has a whole bunch of rotational abilities, managing your GP, and then I can spend my GP to do certain things, right? It's crazy. There's a whole bunch of different skills into this. And again, a whole bunch of different transmogs and all that sort of stuff, a whole bunch of glamours, different looks. With cooking, which is, I think is that my highest? Yeah, cooking is actually my highest current crafting job. So again, you can see I've got all these different abilities. Let me actually cook something up here if I have any ingredients for anything. Maybe I've got some stuff for something simple. I don't think I've got any. I should have planned this more, shouldn't I? I don't think I've got any of my basic stuff with me to cook. Ah, nuts. But yeah, you can see there's a whole bunch of recipes. Cooking is the most intimidating one I found so far. But it's actually really easy to pick these up and to do them. So, for example, if I go over, let's actually go craft something here, and I'll give you an idea of what you can do. If I go to the Culinarians Guild, to start out with any of the crafting jobs, you can actually just buy the ingredients that you need for all of the like level 1 to 5, 6 to 10 cooking recipes is totally fine. So, I don't know, let's make some honey. We're going to need 3 beehive chips. So you can come in here. Again, there's a big old list. It's kind of intimidating. Where are the beehive chips? Here we go. Gonna buy 3 beehive chips. Cool. And then let's go crafting. Here we go. Again, this is going to be pretty intimidating because I'm level 39 cooking. Again, out of a possible 80. So I've unlocked a bunch of abilities. But I can, again, there's a whole rotation working around this durability. My goal here is to get my quality maxed out and then max out my progress. I need to do it without running out of my durability. I've got a bunch of abilities that will make me good at that. So I can pop Inner Quiet. It's going to give me the stacking buff to my my quality. I'm actually going to use this Waste Not ability, which comes at level 15. That halves my durability loss, which is really nice. Then I'm going to start increasing the quality. This is kind of intense. Don't worry about this too much. This looks kind of crazy, but there we go. We've maxed out our quality because I really over-leveled this recipe. I'm going to finish it off. The idea I just want to give to you is not to intimidate you too much. I made some high-quality honey. But it's just to give you the idea that, hey, there's a ton of depth to crafting in this game, and you can make really useful stuff. So again, with woodworking, I can make bows, and I can make some armor things, and spinning wheels and shields. I have armor craft, which is making heavy armor, heavy armors, and again, heavy shields. It also makes things for like alchemy, for cooking. I can make skillets for cooking. Cloth craft, weaving. It's going to let me make armor for crafting gear, which is really good. I can make stuff that's going to give me, well, better casting, or I can make stuff that's good for gathering. I can make stuff that's also good for crafting with control stats, all that sort of stuff. Cooking, make a bunch of foods for different stat buffs. There's so much depth. You can get lost in here for ages, but just go give it a try. It's super fun. And again, it's one click of a button. Bam, I'm a samurai. Bam, I'm weaver. I'm gonna go do some weaving, make myself some crafting gear. Yeah, it's fantastic. It's well worth giving a go. One thing that's likely to get fairly intimidating fairly quickly is your inventory. If you do get really into crafting stuff. So again, right click sort, very, very handy. But you can see my inventory will look different from yours. This is in, I think it's in character config. I actually forgot to check this. I think it's in item. Yeah, here we go. So inventory interface, go for the open all. And also switch up your retainers to expand it as well. Now your retainers, this is like extra storage space and for selling things on the market boards. This only comes when you actually buy the game and you have a subscription. But just having your bigger inventory space, it's going to make it easier to see everything, to find the things that you want to find instead of going through multiple tabs and stuff like that. I feel like that's more of a console thing. This is just quite nice to easily see what's going on here. So I'd recommend that. That's a quick tip to make your inventory management a bit cleaner. And then the final tip is actually a combat tip. So very, very mild spoilers here. You should turn this off if you want to. This is from my last stream. This is one of the level 50 raid bosses that you can fight. We're actually doing this. This is a recording of the video from the stream. We're doing this as an 8-man party. Let's skip ahead slightly into combat. What I want to show you are these Aoe indicators, okay? Because this was really not clear to me when I first started playing. But the way that these Aoe indicators work, this Volknut ability, is that, look at this, I can actually go back into the animation. So what you need to watch out for is that circle on the ground, right, and the cast bar. As soon as that circle disappears, as soon as the cast bar completes, it is now safe, right? You will take damage once that cast bar fills up, once the circle expires, explodes, as it were. The boss will then do their cast animation. So, for example, with this Hall of Stone, now it's safe, but you can see the actual visual explosion, the spell effect goes off afterwards. That's actually safe. You're actually totally fine. What's dangerous, again, Volknut, now it's safe to go back in. Look, that spell effect doesn't do anything. You take the damage when the thing completes. I think the reason they do this is just, I guess they just tried it out both different ways, and it just ended up feeling like snappier. Or more responsive to have it this way. But for me, I found this super unintuitive, and I was like, wait, what? Like, the boss casts a big fireball attack, and I can actually step into the fireball because the AoE indicator is gone? Yeah, that is how it works. So, yeah, takes a little bit of getting used to. Again, walking back into the explosion, it feels a bit weird the first time, but that is how it works, so that will help you with some of this combat. I chose this boss because, again, there's just loads of these AoEs going off, so I think it's a really good way to actually show it happening. So, there you go. One little tip actually as well, if I hop back into the game here, one little tip, I've got that big cast bar in the middle. I've changed my UI. This is more advanced. This is definitely more advanced, but the way I got that really quick if you want to do it is you need to click on your target bar, then click this UI element, display target info independently. This will split it up. By default, all these things go together. The cast bar, your target's HP, and also their debuffs, and I think it's up at the top of your screen. I actually changed these. You can see I changed the size, but specifically that cast bar, I basically made this 200% size. This is their progress bar, okay? And then I basically dragged it into the middle of the screen. So that's what I did. Again, that's more advanced, but just if you were looking, if you thought that was cool, right? Hey, giant cast bar in the middle of the screen. That's pretty neat. That's how I did it, and that's how I have my target info and stuff down here. Again, this is more advanced. I moved my hotbar to the bottom, my health up there, that sort of stuff. You can really tweak this. Let me know if you want to see more stuff on this, and I could do that. I could give you more detailed info in terms of how I move my UI around. That could be a really fun other video. I might wait until I'm another week or so into the game and done more raids and stuff like that, so I'm more confident, more comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I'm really happy with how this is set up, but I kind of like the idea of target progress bar, 200% size, bang in the middle of the screen, so it's easy to see, and it helps you, again, dodging those AoEs. So there you go, guys. I think there's plenty of info there. I kind of ended up being, despite writing a list on my phone like a thorough professional, I ended up jumping around all over the place like an absolute dummy. Final tip. Does it work here? Yeah. The sit button is interactive, so you can actually come in and you can like sit on items like stools, ledges, that sort of thing, and you can change your pose when you're sitting there. But there you go, guys. They were my beginner tips to Final Fantasy XIV Online. Hopefully, I was trying to be a little bit more specific, hopefully so, in terms of those sort of individual specific things that I found really helpful and cool when I was starting out. So hopefully it gave you some ideas. Feel free to ask questions in the comments down below. Check out my stream. I've got all the streams are up on VODs as soon as I'm able to put them up as VODs on the YouTube channel. And of course, I'm streaming most weekdays, usually not weekends, but weekdays I am streaming Final Fantasy XIV too. So I'd love to see you there. Come hang out. We often do lots of crafting and side quests and stuff, as well as main quests, a bit of main quest every day. So you can come check that out too. Thanks for watching. I will do more guides like this in the future, I think. It's a ton of fun, and I'm loving this game. I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.